Okay, we're back. Hello, nandyan pa ba kayo?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Si Hamlag. Ano si Hamlag?
Yes,
So, hindi
sir.
talaga nakapasok si... Okay, thank you. Si... Genevieve, si Doing. Sige. Okay, let's continue. Next question. Okay, this time, math na naman. Joey can finish typing 6 pages of essay in 9 minutes. How many pages can he type in 12 minutes? Ito, honestly, I would say na medyo mahirap ito ng konti. Medyo mahirap ito ng konti. Pero sige lang, we will make it easy. We will make it simple. Thank you for responses. Bilis Diba yun? 6 pages in 9 minutes. How many pages in 12 minutes? So definitely, dadami or kukunti? 6 pages in 9 minutes. Oh, syempre, no, dadami siya kasi 12 minutes eh. So, lahat naman higher than 6 pages. So, ilang pages in 12 minutes? Okay, thank you for responses. Bilis Nag-solve ni. Sige. Sige, thank you for responses. Correct answer for this question, sige, thank you, nag-solve, is actually 8. 8 pages in 12 minutes. Kung 9 minutes ay 6 pages, kung 12 minutes ay 8 pages. Sir, paano nangyaring, or paano tayo nakakasiguro na 8 pages in 12 minutes? So before we proceed to the actual na pag-solve, no, review muna tayo dito tungkol sa direct and inverse ratio. Although in our previous discussion, meron na ito, no? But this time, yung dalawang types of ratio, which is direct and inverse ratio. When we say direct ratio, two variables or two entities na when one increases, the other also increases. Okay, sige, sure, sige. Naka-record na, sige. So, for example, the relationship between the age and height specified by A and B. And as the age of in the years of the child increases, the height will also increase. So, direct ratio ang tawag dyan. Now, the other naman is yung inverse ratio. This is just the opposite of direct ratio. If one increases, the other decreases. Example, 4 people represented by A, 4 people can paint a fence in 3 hours represented by B. Definitely, more people, lesser hours or lesser time to paint. Am I right? Diba? Mas maraming tao, mas konti lang ang panahon na matapos nila yung pagpipintura. So that's inverse ratio. This is very important na to identify whether the relationship of the two variables or the two numbers is inverse or direct ratio. Very important yan ha. This is not just about inverse ganyan-ganyan. Ay pag direct pare-pare. The application of these concepts is very important. Kailangan as a test taker, as an examinee, if you are encountered this kind of question, you should be able to identify whether it's inverse or direct ratio because it will affect all of your yung mga solutions and yung mga process mo in solving the word problem or the mathematical problem. So that's ratio, inverse, and direct. Kung sa ratio merong inverse at merong direct, meron ding sa proportion. Proportion is defined as an equation that says two ratios are equivalent. Forget, proportion meaning two ratios are equivalent. So if the other proportion is direct, the other should also be, it follows na it should also be direct na ratio. This time, ito, in our example, we have here a direct proportion because we have here two ratios or two direct ratios. If A increases, B also increases. Same thing with this ratio here, C and D. If one increases, they also increases. The other also increases. That's direct proportion. Yung indirect or say inverse proportion naman, did I say indirect or inverse proportion? Two proportion or two ratios which are also inverse na mga ratio. Like ito, A decreases, B increases, same thing as C decreases, D also increases. Inverse proportion. So meron tayong direct proportion, merong inverse proportion, merong direct ratio, merong inverse ratio. Don't forget again, it's very important to understand these concepts because you will have the application of this in the word problem. So indirect proportion, in a direct proportion like this, uh, if for example one variable is unknown or one part of the proportion is unknown, we have here equations. No? Since A is to B is equal to C is to D, we multiply the extremes. If I'm not mistaken, math major, ang sa labas, itong outside ganin na mga variables, A and B are called extremes. Itong inner naman, they're called means. So, A is to B is equal to C is to D is the same thing with A times D is equal to B times C. Okay? I hope you got that, I will uh, proceed slowly. So therefore, D is equal to D times C divided by A. Algebra na ano to, algebraic mga expressions. What for example if A is unknown? So we get A is equal to B times C divided by B. What if B? B is the unknown. So we get B is equal to A times D divided by C. And if C is unknown, the variable C is unknown, then we get C is equal to A times D divided by B. Pag direct proportion. I hope that's clear. No question about this? Okay. Sige. How about kung inverse proportion? Kanina, kung direct proportion, we multiply the extremes with the means. This time, pag inverse proportion naman, we multiply the variables in the ratio itself. Pag inverse so I have to understand the problem, the word problem, kung inverse ba siya or direct proportion. So let's say for example, identify mo na inverse proportion. So A times B is equal to C times D. Same thing with yung algebraic na expressions. Now, if A is missing, for example, A is unknown, we have to find for it. So A is equal to C times D divided by B. B is equal to C times D divided by A. And if C is unknown, then we get A times B divided by D. And if D is unknown, then A times B divided by C. Kuha ninyo clear ba ako pa-explain about inverse proportion and direct proportion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. So, going back to the problem. Joey can finish typing 6 pages of essay in 9 minutes. How many pages can he type in 12 minutes? Question. Direct or inverse proportion?
Direct.
Miss Alavar?
Direct.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Direct proportion. It's because when the number of or the time increases, so 9 minutes will increase, the number of pages also increases. Kaya, very good. We identify it as direct proportion. So we get, 6 is to 9. 6 pages is 9 pages is equal to C. We don't know how many pages kasi ito yung question, how many pages in 12 minutes? Direct proportion. So, as we have said, multiply the extremes, the means. So we get 9 times C is equal to 6 times 12. Then we proceed with the procedure. So 9C is equal to 6 times 12. So we get C is equal to 72 divided by 9. Hence we get 8. 72 divided by 9. Yes, it's 8. Okay ba? Miss Hamlag? Ay, busy sayang kuan. Shopee day tama. Nebot yung libro. Anyway, sige, let's proceed to the next question. Okay, this time. A building 25 meters tall casts a shadow 10 meters long. How long is the shadow of a 5-foot girl standing beside the building? Wait, sorry. Answers, please. Okay, thank you for responses. Sige lang. We're going to show how do we get the answer for this question. Okay, thank you. All right, correct answer. Correct answer for this question is, yes, it's letter A. That's 2 feet. Question, is this direct or inverse proportion? Anyone? Proportion ba na, sir? Proportion. It's about proportion. 25 is to 10. 25 is to 10. 5 is to how long ang shadow?
Direct yapon ko.
Direct. Thank you. Abayon. Direct proportion pa rin. So how do we get 2? So we get 25 represented by A, 10 meters ang shadow. B, how long is the shadow? We don't know. And we get 5, the height of the girls represented by C. So we get A is to B is equal to C is to D, 25 is to 10 is equal to 5 is, we don't know the length of the shadow, so the direct proportion. D is unknown. We have to find for the length of the shadow, so we get 5 times 10 divided by 25, that's 50 divided by 25. So the correct answer is 2 feet. Very good. Next question. How much time can 2 people paint a fence if 3 people can do the job in 5 hours? Okay, thank you for your responses, Alawar and Bayon. How about the others? Your answers, please. Mr. Escobar, thank you. Kung 3 tao, 5 oras matapos ang pagpintura. Gano'n naman katagal kung 2 tao lang? Yun, question. Like what we have said, the more people, the lesser time. So meaning, More than 5 hours. Kita niyo, para isang tingin nyo lang sa mga options, meron na kayong ma ma-eliminate. Kung tatlong tao, 5 hours. Tatlong tao 'yun ha, 5 hours na. Kung dalawang tao lang, in other words, hindi pwedeng mas lesser than 5 hours. Mas tatagal, di ba? Tama, logically. Kung dalawa lang, mas matagal sa 5 hours. Tama? So, hindi pwede maging answer ang B kasi 3 hours and 20 minutes. Duha na lang gayno ning pas so gibuhat nila ni paspas lag maayo. Kung tulo ka tao, 5 oras. Kung dalawa lang, mas mahaba sa 5 hours. All right, correct answer. Thank you for responses. Correct answer for this question is yes, it's letter A. So this is what? Inverse proportion. Diba? Inverse. Kasi the more people, the lesser time, the lesser people, the more time. Inverse. Increase, decrease, hindi sila increase, increase. So how do we get 7 hours and 30 minutes? So using the inverse proportion na yung pang formula natin, yan, we represent time to finish with 2 people as A. So we get A is to 2, A time kung dalawang tao is equal to 5 hours kung tatlong tao, inverse proportion. As we have understood the word problem. So we get 2A kasi multiply natin itong sila mismong nasa ratio. 2A is equal to 5 times 3. So we get A is equal to 15 divided by 2. So that's 7.5 hours or 7 hours and 30 minutes. Diba? Pero you know what? If you don't if you haven't encountered this in a review and then you encounter this in the actual let sa exam, maglisod kag answer ani, mataka kag answer ani. Guess ka, but actually it's very simple. That's why I'm telling you, especially sa math, kailangan ng practice test. Kailangan ng exercise, practice test, practice yourself. Expose yourself to questions. And then use the things that we review here, yung mga techniques, mga strategies in your self-test. Nakuha? We're not about, hindi tayo too much of the what's the answer here but ano yung skill na kailangan natin, ano yung competency na kailangan natin. If ever, yung mga numbers na yung 2, 3, 5 na yan, mag-iba in your board exam. Kasi hindi naman tayo makasiguro na yan din na question ng lalabas. What if ibang mga numbers or iba din ang problem, but we understand it's inverse proportion. Meron tayong background knowledge. Okay? Ayaw ninyo kalimti. Okay, next question. Ito. This question is an actual let question 2019. Walang board exam year 2020 kasi na ano lahat, na postpone lahat because of the pandemic. This question is very popular 2019 sa mga let review na mga groups. Debate sila nito. Maraming debates anong answer nila. So, ito yun. Very popular. 2019, March and September. All right. In your answers, please. Thank you for responses. Alavar. A Toyota car traveling at the rate of 70 kilometers per hour. Thank you, Mr. Bayon. Leaves the house of Bonilas 2 hours after a Kia car has left. So dalawang cars dito, may Toyota, may Kia. And overtakes it, thank you Hamlag, in 5 hours. At what rate was the Kia car traveling? So para pares lang answer. Okay? Sige, naka-answer na lahat. So dalawang cars, ang isa umalis na may ganitong speed, and then yung isang car naman, yung Kia, yung Toyota naman sumunod after 2 hours, and meron and na-overtake niya yung Kia in 5 hours. The question is, what's the speed? What's the speed of the Kia car? Yung na overtaken. Sino yung unang umalis? Yung Toyota or yung Kia? Yung Kia, no? Okay. So how do we write the equation? Kung titingnan mo ang problem, maraming parang confusing ang problem. But if you're going to write it, ano yung A is to B, and C is to D niyan. Okay, but the correct answer here muna is, yes, it's 50 kilometers per hour. You're correct. So how do we get that? 50 kilometers per hour. Look at this illustration. Yung Kia car, with the unknown speed, left the let's say a certain place with the same place lang Toyota car, left the place, and after 2 hours the Toyota car followed. But after 5 hours ng pag-travel ng Toyota, not the Kia, after 5 hours ng pag-travel ng Toyota, na-overtake niya ang Kia. So if we're going to look at the illustration, we see na the Kia car has been traveling for 7 hours already. Kasi 2 hours, tsaka nauna siya ng 2 hours kasi sa Toyota, and 5 hours, after 5 hours, na-overtaken siya ng Kia, na ang speed ay 70 kilometers per hour. Okay? So is this inverse or direct proportion? Okay? Inverse or direct? Hamlag, what do you think?
Di ko sure sir, pero inverse ito sir.
Inverse? Kung if the car is fast, if the car is fast enough, is the time shorter or longer ang time? Kung increase ang speed, shorter or longer ang time?
Short. If pass, short.
Yes. Ibig sabihin inverse. The faster ang travel ng car, the shorter na time maabot sa destination, right? So it's inverse proportion. So paano natin i-identify yung A, B, and C? Yan, inverse proportion. How do we write the equation? Saan dyan ang A, saan dyan ang B, saan ang C, at saan ang B? Alright, ganito yan. So, if A is ang Toyota car, ang B niya is 5 hours lang. 5 hours na siya nag-travel, nag-abot sila, na-overtake niya ang Kia. Tama? A is to B is equal to C is ang speed ng car, unknown, and how many hours siya nag-travel before siya overtaken? Total of 7 hours. Kasi nauna siya ng 2 hours sa Toyota. So, we write the equation A is to B is equal to C is to D. That's 70 is to 5. 70 kilometers per hour. Tama? In 5 hours. Is equal to C, speed ng Kia, which we don't know, is to 7 hours na pag-travel, and nag-abot sila in a certain point. Nakuha? So, inverse proportion. So, what we have learned about the inverse proportion, multiply the numbers within the ratio itself. So we have 70 times 5 is equal to C, or 7 times C. So we get C is the unknown. 70 times 5, that's 350 divided by 7, we get 50 kilometers per hour. Pretty simple, no? Pero kung imong tan-awon ang problem, how are you going to read? How are you going to convert this to an expression, to a mathematical expression or equation? Okay? I hope you're learning, with this. Kailangan ng analysis. Okay, thank you so much for responses. You all got the correct answer. Next question. Hmm. So, sige, using the knowledge that we have learned from our discussion, early discussion. This time, a bus traveling at a rate of 80 kilometers per hour leaves the terminal 3 hours after a van has left and overtakes the van in 7 hours. At what rate was the van traveling? Amlag, please turn off your microphone. Thank you. Okay, thank you for responses. Alabar. Okay, may answer na sa Alabar. Okay, thank you. Bayun. Escobar. Caponilas. All of them answered C. We will see. Okay, Hamlag. Answer na lahat? I think so, naka-answer na lahat. Alright, let's reveal the correct answer. Correct answer for this question, but before that, how many hours has the van traveled before it was overtaken by the bus? Total hours ng van.
10, sir.
Correct, 10 hours. Oh, so na may idea. Inverse, direct, obviously it's inverse. All right. We're asked about the speed of the van. So using the inverse proportion, yung discussion natin kanina, correct answer for this question is yes, very good. Correct, that's 56 kilometers per hour. So how do we get 56 kilometers per hour using the inverse proportion? Ayan, ito. We also have the illustration. Okay, 3 hours. After 3 hours, the bus followed. And then after 7 hours ng travel ng bus, the bus overtakes the van. Total number of hours ng van ng pag-travel before siya na-overtake is 10 hours. So we get 80 is to 7. 80 is to 7 is equal to C is to 10. 80 is to 7, ito yung sa bus. Yung C is to 10, ito yung sa van. So we get 80 times 7 is equal to 10C, or C is equal to 560 divided by 10, we get 56 kilometers per hour. Diba? Cute siya na na problem for me. Parang, ikaw magtanong sa word problem, maratol ba? Oh, first time maka-encounter ng ganyan, no? So, we're making it simple. If ever na maka-encounter kayo ng ganito na problem, make sure na di mo mamalian sa board exam. Alright, next question. Very good. Ay, salamat. Tapos na math. Balik tayo sa social science. Whose philosophy advocates the use of reason in understanding the existence of God? Use of reason. Is it St. Benedict, St. Peter, St. John, or St. Thomas Aquinas? Aquinas. Ano tamang spelling? Key in your answers, please. Okay, thank you. Alavar. Cabonilas. Na, sabihin natin question. I answer. Escobar, thank you. Correct answer. Same lang ni siyang question ay. Mga noris ninyo ni. Mga reviewers. Thank you. Abayon. Correct answer for this question. Kay Amlag, correct answer. Thank you so much for responses. Correct answer is St. Thomas Aquinas. Use of reason ang sa kanya. Okay, more information about St. Thomas Aquinas philosophy. Yan, according kay St. Thomas Aquinas, the existence of God can be proven in 5 ways. So meron siya mga arguments ang tawag niya. First way argument is the argument from motion. Second way argument from efficient causes. Meron siyang third argument of possibility and necessity, or the reductio argument. Fourth way is the argument of gradation of being. And the fifth way is the argument from design. We will not discuss each of these arguments. Basta sinasabi ko sa inyo, ito yung mga arguments na sinasabi ni Thomas Aquinas na para ma-prove using reason or argument that there is a God. So this is based on and state that edu. Source ko. Kung mag-search na, basta kayo na siya 5 arguments to prove that God exists. How about which philosophy gives prominence to faith? Not reason, not any argument, but faith, and understanding the existence of God. Was it St. Benedict, St. Peter, St. Augustine, or St. John? Answers, please. Correct answer? Hello? Nag-lag siguro signal. Yes. Thank you for responses. Sige. Kung kanina si Thomas Aquinas, use of reason. Ito naman, use of faith in understanding the existence of God, and that is St. Augustine. Yeah, at least ano nyo. Meron makikita na comparison. Okay. Next question. Bit of explanation. St. Augustine agrees that believing and understanding are two different things. Launches forth his famous proof the existence of God. First, however, is kailangan meron mo ng faith. According to St. Augustine, first, the person needs to have faith that God exists. For no one, according to him, no one becomes capable of finding God unless he first believes that he is existing. That's according to St. Augustine. Simple lang ang kanya. You must first believe so that you will find God. Because if you don't, ang argument niya is, ang kanyang reason is, if you don't believe in something, then you will not find it. Tama nga naman, di ba? Okay. Next question. Who is the first mythical geographer who was recognized due to his vivid description of land and people encountered by his hero, Ulysses? You know, Ulysses? This question is in your, I think, English. Pwede siya sa English. Pwede rin siyang sa world literature ninyo na subject. Thank you for responses. Hamlag Alavar. Is it Virgil, Plato, Homer, or Cicero? Answers, please. Thank you. Cabonilas. Escobar. Correct answer for this question is, nakimapas? Correct answer is Homer. Bayo, nakapas pa. Homer. Who are these people? Si Homer, Plato, Virgil, and Cicero. But the question is asking us about mythical, according to the question, first mythical geographer, meaning traveler ito, geographer. Marami siyang pinuntahan ng mga lugar. And he is recognized in his literature because he describes land, mga vivid description of land, using his hero, meron siyang hero eh. Meron siyang hindi sa ML, meron siyang hero sa kanyang literature named Ulysses. If you remember this in your world literature na subject, no? Ulysses is also known as Odysseus, is a legendary Greek king of Ithaca. Sa mga mythology, no, namin Ithaca. Greek mythology, and the hero of Homer's epic poem Odyssey. Odysseus is the key role in Homer's Iliad and Odyssey kasi kanyang mga sinulat ni Homer. Si Odysseus or Ulysses ang pangalan ng kanyang hero. Si Odysseus or Ulysses also described as the son of Laertes and Anticlea, the husband of Penelope. So ang asawa ni Odysseus si Penelope, the father of Telemachus and Opesilaus. Odysseus is renowned for his intellectual brilliance, guile, and versatility, and thus known by the epithet Odysseus the Cunning. So si Odysseus the Cunning ang tawag din sa kanya. He is most famous for his nostos or homecoming kasi nag-travel siya. If you're familiar with the story of Odysseus, of Ulysses, nag-travel siya in many lands. Marami siyang narating na mga lugar, including the land of the Cyclops, land of the giants. Yung mga Cyclops na isa lang ang mata, mga giants, isa lang ang mata. Yung kanyang pag-travel, yung kanyang homecoming, took him 10 years of, sinabi ito, eventful years, meaning full of events yung kanyang pag-travel after the decade-long Trojan War. One of the stories ni Odysseus o ni Ulysses is yung nakarating sila doon sa sinabi ko na land of the giants, mga land of the Cyclops, yung malalaking tao, mga giants, according sa story ni Homer, na yung mga giants, isa lang kanilang mata. And then, hinuli sila, nakapture sila ng giant, kasama ng mga shipmen, mga kasama ni Odysseus sa kanyang ship, sa kanyang barko, tapos ikulong sila sa isang cave. Tapos everyday, kukuha doon yung Cyclops, mukut dito sa bangag, sa cave, nasa dito mga tao, para iyang kaunon, pamahaw, lunch, dinner. Until such time na si Odysseus, parang siya na lang natira. Pero before nangyari yun na si Odysseus na ang kakainin, ang nangyari is, nakatulog yung giant. Nakatulog yung giant tapos tinusok niya yung mata ng giant. Before ko makalimutan pala, dahil nga si Odysseus ay renowned for his intellectual brilliance, meaning maro, guile, maro ba kanang kabulumangilad and versatility, iyang giilad ang yung Cyclops, yung giant. Tinanong kasi siya ng giant, what's your name? Anong sinagot ni Odysseus? No man. No man daw. So, ditupod ang Cyclops na no man iyang pangalan. Wala siya insulting Odysseus ang pangalan. Wala siya insulting na Ulysses ang pangalan. But he said, no man. So, one time, timingan ni Odysseus, natulog ang giant. So, sa sulod sa cave o sa dul sa kulungan. Itusok niya ang mata. Basta natusok niya ang mata with a stick nga mayroon para may fire dun sa sugnod dun sa kanyang campfire ng giant. Tusok sa mata. Giant ka isa-isang mata ng Cyclops. Siyempre, yung Cyclops, scream siya, narinig ng mga kapwa Cyclops niya sa mga karating na mga lugar ng mga Cyclops na mga silingan niya. Tinanong siya, what's happening to you? Nagtanong yung mga ibang Cyclops sa kanya. Ang sagot niya, no man is hurting me. Anong inisip ng mga kapwa niya Cyclops? Ay, nidaman na siya, nabaliw na siya, sagdi na siya. So, walang tumulong sa kanya, in short. So, nabulag, and then nakatakas sila, Odysseus, at yung iba pa niya mga natirang kasama na hindi pa nakain. That's why Odysseus is renowned for his intellectual brilliance, guile, and versatility. Isa lang yun sa mga events sa story ni Odyssey. Iliad and Odyssey story. Okay? While itong si Virgil naman is regarded by the Romans, mga taga-Rome, as their greatest poet. Okay. Meron din siyang isinulat, Aeneid. His fame, itong si Virgil, his fame rests chiefly on Aeneid, which tells the story of Rome's legendary founder and proclaims the Roman mission to civilize the world under divine guidance. So meron isusunod si Virgil, I need. Ito naman si Cicero, full name niya Marcus Tullius Cicero, is a Roman statesman, is also a lawyer, scholar, writer, who vainly tried to uphold republican principles in the final civil wars that destroyed the Roman Republic. So marami siyang sinulat, mga rhetoric, mga orations, yan. He is remembered in the modern times as the greatest Roman orator and the innovator of what became known as the Ciceronian rhetoric. Search na yung sa mga Ciceronian rhetoric, rhetorical questions. Si Plato naman is very popular. He's one of the ancient Greek philosophers. Estudyante siya ni Socrates, teacher ni Aristotle, and the founder of, si Plato, founder of what philosophy? Hello? Anong philosophy ni Plato? Educational philosophy ni Plato. Hello? Ay, nakalimot na ni sila ba? Mr. Abayon.
Sir?
What's the philosophy of Plato?
Classical?
Mga isam-isim.
Classical ako na-remember na siya, sir.
Mga isims ba? Philosophies of education. Pag Plato, anong isim sa kanya ang pinaka nakakabit talaga sa pangalan ni Plato? Escobar. Uy, kamujud ba?
Idealism, sir?
Idealism, it's correct.
Idealism, sir.
Yes, Mr. Escobar, idealism. Ayaw mo kalimot ha. Plato, idealism na siya. Oh. Mayroon pang perennialism, mga tao. Behaviorism, mga tao. Progressivism, mga tao. So, napitan lang nato kay Plato man. So, the correct answer for that question is Homer. So, Homer yung writer ng Iliad and Odyssey. Ang hero niya is Ulysses. Alright, next question. Ito naman is campus journalism. No. Pwede. Pwede rin siya sa English. Which among the following is the part of the newspaper where you can see the opinions of people? Shopkeeper responses, Samlag Alabar. Is it from the classified ads? Abigail, obituary, headline, or editorial? Mark, Escobar, who else? Okay, last. Okay, Abayon. Correct answer? Yes, very good. That's editorial. Opinions of people. Part of newspaper, presenting the opinion of the publisher, writer, or editor. Sa classified ads naman, marami. Yung recruitment, property, obituary. So yung obituary pala, kasama yun sa classified ads, including matrimonial, business announcement, education, personal, kasama sa classified ads. So editorial ang correct answer. Next question. Who was the last Spanish Governor General in the Philippines? Ito, magandang question ito. The last Governor General in the Philippines. So meaning ito yung time na transition to the American regime. Is it Ramon Blanco, Diego de los Rios, Basilio Agustin, or Fermin Wadines? Thank you for your responses, Amblag Alavar. Okay. Escobar. Cabunilas. Ay mo kalimot ani ha. Mga recall questions pero each item counts. Last Spanish Governor General in the Philippines is that's Governor General Diego de los Rios. Halos tanan nga mamaglet kabalo ani ha. Sa mga let review ng mga groups, halos tanan mga let review kabalo sila. By the way ha, ayong kalimtiin yung mga answer key dito sa let review group na academy. Diba sinabot tayo 2 days, wala pa answer key. Okay. Diego de los Rios, capital, the last governor, ang kanyang office, ang kanyang capital sa Iloilo. During the time the Treaty of Paris was signed in 1898, siya yung uh, Governor General noon, December 10, 1898, when the Treaty of Paris was signed. Treaty of Paris turning over the Philippines to the United States of America. And the term governor after August 13 months lang, no? Look at this. August 13, 1898 to December 10, 1898 lang siya. August, September, October, less than 3 months lang siya, naging Governor General. When he left Manila in 1898, January 1. He was preceded by Francisco Rizzo on and Fermin Wadens. Preceded meaning nauna sa iya. On August 30, 1896, fronted by the spread of rebellion led by Andres Bonifacio, si Ramon Blanco, kasi nandun sa options natin si Ramon Blanco ha, para meron ko information sino yan si Ramon Blanco. He is also a Spanish Governor General in the Philippines, but he's not the last. Okay? In August 30, 1896, itong si Governor General Ramon Blanco declared a state of war in the 8 provinces. Manila, Bulacan, yan. Ito silang 8 provinces. Ito yung mga provinces na nire-represent ng 8 rays in the flag natin yung sun, may 8 rays of the sun, yun yung nire-represent ng each ray. Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Pampanga, Tarlac, Laguna, Batangas, Nueva Ecija, and place them under martial law. Tapos merong 48 hours na amnesty sa mga rebelde kung mo surrender, except sa mga leader. So that's Governor General Blanco. Si Basilio Agustin Davila naman is also a Governor General. Pero kadali lang April, May, June, July, 3 months lang din, 1898. During his tenure, the Spanish-American War began sa kanyang time. Spanish-American War, which he assured Spain that war would be short and decisive in their favor. O siya, sabi niya sa king ng Spain na we will win this war in a short time. But actually, they were defeated by the Americans in the Battle of Manila Bay. Actually, mock war na lang man yun. Nagbayad naman ang United States of America sa Spain. Kami naman ang mag-colonize ng Philippines. So that's Basilio Agustin Davila, time na yun na Governor General ng Philippines. And ito naman si Governor Fermin Wadens. On August 13, Manila fell after a bloodless battle. Bloodless kasi nga mock war lang yun. Had secretly arranged a surrender of after a mock show of resistance to salvage his honor. Governor General pala silang lahat, yung 4 na yun. But Diego de los Reyes is the last. Next question. Participation in governance, including the right to vote and seek public offices, is secured within the citizenry's blank. Political rights, right to suffrage, social civic right, right to due process. Answers, please. Thank you. Tabar, Escobar. Take note, ha? There are keywords in the question. Okay, Cabonilas. Right to vote and seek public office. Bayon, thank you for your responses. Okay, correct answer for his question is all right. Correct answer is, in fact, letter A. That's political rights. Kasi kung sinabing right to vote lang, suffrage yun. Pero meron kasing nakadagdag sa question na seek public offices, meaning you can run. You can run for office or mag-candidate ka. Kasi yung suffrage, right to vote. But this one kasi nasa question natin is right to vote and seek public offices. And all of these rights, itong B, C, and D are under political rights. Lahat yan, yung suffrage, social civic right, and right to due process are all classified under the political rights. Okay? May mga ganun na question ha? Parang tama lahat. But you have to understand the question. Okay, next. The right invoked in the writ of habeas data is What right? Okay, thank you for your answers. Escobar Hamblag Cabonilas, Alabar, lahat sila nag-letter A. Correct answer for this question? Okay, Abayon, thank you. Yes, in fact, yes, letter A. Privacy of information, ang writ of habeas data. A remedy available to any person whose right to privacy in life, so liberty, security is violated and threatened by a lawful act of omission of public official or employee or private individual engaged in gathering. Actually, discuss naman ito ni last time, no? Kasama ng mga writ of habeas corpus. Writ of habeas data is the right for privacy of your information. Also, it's a right that can be invoked if you feel that your uh, privacy is violated by any individual, public or private individual or entity that's engaged on gathering and collecting data or information about you. Na example natin to last time, JMC is one of an example of a private entity that's engaged in gathering and collecting data, di ba? Nakatag mo sa lahog information, your name, your family, your contact number, email. Sa amin, sa mga employees, we gave them our information about mga SS number, mga TIN number, and so on, marami information. So if you think that your right or your privacy in life, liberty is violated because of information, a person may invoke this right to writ of habeas data. So that's right to privacy of information. Next question. Because of profanity, the program was suspended from television. The capitalized word means you may be familiar with the root word of the word profanity. That's one advantage. If you know the root word, you'll be able to see the correct answer in the options. You may also use elimination. Same ideas in the option, eliminate. Pag same idea. So, which of the following is the synonym, same meaning of the capitalized word profanity? Answers, please. Varied pang answer, oh. Escobar, Alavar, Hamlag, profanity. The TV program was suspended, Obonilas, because of profanity. Is it obscenity? Is it history, decency, or falsehood? What's the root word of profanity? Profane. Profane. Malaswa. Malaswa. Okay. Correct answer for this question is actually letter A. Profanity or obscene or blasphemous language. Obscene yung mga kalaswaan ng mga words. Hindi pwedeng masuspend ang isang TV sa history o at saka decency. Diba? So, ang choices mo dyan is obscenity and falsehood. Okay. Next question. When helping the kitchen, I am always careful not to hurt blank. Ourselves, myself, himself, herself. Thank you for responses. Amblag, Alavar, may mga questions na ganito. Abayon, Cabonilas, and Escobar. Can you answer? Correct answer for this question is, thank you for responses, it's letter B. Because of the antecedent na pronoun I am always careful not to hurt myself. Kasi singular yan, I. Hindi pwedeng himself, herself, hindi pwedeng ourselves. It's about yung reflexive pronouns. So, subject pronouns, I, myself, you, yourself, he, himself, she, herself, and so on. So, this is about yung familiarity about reflexive, use of the reflexive pronouns. Next question. The students request to reset the test, blank, reasonable. So which of the verbs here, linking verbs, is the most appropriate for the sentence. The student's request to reset the test blank reasonable. Where very are is. Okay. Thank you for your responses. Hamlag, Wells, Escobar. Okay, magkaiba na answer nila. Always remember ha, look at the subject of the sentence. Pag ingay yung question, okay, verb, asking about the verb. Thank you for responses, Kabunlas and Abayon Alabar. Look at the subject. What's the subject of the sentence, Escobar? Nag-change ng answer. What's the correct answer? What's the correct? What's the subject of the sentence? Is it the students or the request?
Request.
Yung request.
The request.
Singular, plural? Singular. That's why the correct answer is yes, correct. It's singular kasi ang request. Yung students dyan, this is possessive, but sometimes maka-distract ito. You may think that it's plural, but the real subject here is the noun request. The student's request is reasonable. Next question. Blank wiring is the cause of sudden blackout. Lose, lost, loss, lose. Thank you for responses. Escobar. Amlag. Cuman Jun. Escobar. Sige, okay. Pwede. Bonilas. All right, correct answer. Alabar. Bayon, your answer. Okay. Sige. So look at the thank you for responses. Lagi, sige, nag-change the answer. Wiring is the cause of sudden blackout. Wiring. Ano ba yung lose na LOSE? Ano yung lost, loss, and lose? Let's look at the meanings. All right, ito. Yung lose, yung letter A, nawala. It could be nawala, misplaced. It could be napildi, to be defeated. Yung lost naman, nawala din, past tense ng lose, gone, astray, or confused in a parang something like metaphorical or conceptual na term, confused, lost ng kanyang idea ba, na confused. Yung loss naman na LOSS, double S is, diba, defeat, death, and utang or debit. So talking about wiring, the most appropriate verb or adjective here, by the way, it's ano siya, participle that describes the wiring is loose, meaning unfixed, luag, movable, relaxed. That's why maka-cause ng sudden. Alright? This question is about your familiarity about the forms of nouns, or forms of words and their meanings. Alright, next question. She is known for the love sonnets she wrote. Filipina writers ito lahat. So we have Paz, Marquez Benitez, Edith Chermore, Hilda Cordero Fernando, Ofelia de Malanta. This question actually came out in the 2019 September and March. Maingay dito sa let review, sa mga let review groups. Okay, thank you for responses. Bayon. Sino daw yung love sonnets doon? Grabing ano nila doon. Hindi, si ano yun, yan, si ano yan. Answers, please. These are the types of questions that you need to remember. Abayon, Escobar, Amblag, thank you for responses. Kaya mag-answer si Escobar. All right, question, correct answer. Nilas, okay. Thank you. Correct answer for this question is Ching. Nakapas pa sila bar. Correct. Ofelia de Malanta. Love sonnets sa Filipina na writer sa Philippines na sonnets. The most popular is Ofelia de Malanta. Who is de Malanta? She is a poet, and she has also written and published books, including a multi-awarded collection of poems or sonnets titled Montage. Actually, collection of poems na naging book. Montage ang pangalan ng book. Kay Kalimpia, di Balanta, Montage. And then we have here the side-by-side na comparison between a sonnet and a poem. Mabasa ninyo? Kung cellphone yung gamit, mo gamay, no? Sonnet is a poem of sonnet's a poem of 14 lines using any of the number of formal rhyme schemes. Bili mabasa? Oh, sige lang. Kani siya nga ano nga na comparison is available in the internet. So padaanan lang natin ha. Yung sonnet, ano yung difference ng sonnet sa ng poem? Yung sonnet, meron siyang 14 lines. Strictly 14 lines lang talaga ng sonnet. But it's a poem. Diba? It's a poem with 14 lines strictly. And meron siyang mga rhyme scheme. Meron talaga siyang rhyme scheme. Hindi pwedeng walang rhyme scheme ang sonnet. While a poem is generally speaking ano siya an expression of feelings and ideas with a particular form. Yung sonnet, meron siyang fixed na structure. Yun nga, 14 lines and may formal na rhyme. Ang poems naman mag-differ, depends on structure. Ano pa? Sonnets are written, ito ikaapat na row ito. Kung naka-cellphone mo, pwede siya ma-zoom in. Sonnets are written in iambic pentameter. Okay, yun na mag-research ng iambic pentameter, but it's about yung pattern ng sound. Yung iambic pentameter, paano ba explain yan? Kasi sa English major ito. Bali, yung line ng poem, merong 10 syllables in which 10 syllables in which na each pair of syllables, meaning 5 pairs of syllables, kaya siya pentameter, isang pair ng syllable is called an iamb. Ano yung iamb? Ang iamb, ang sound ng iamb is unstressed, stressed. Like for example, look at this poem beside the table. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? This is from Shakespeare's sonnet. I forgot the number. Basta kay Shakespeare ito. How do we read this? Shall I? Pag ganyan ang basa niyan eh. Yan yung isang iamb. Shall I? Baba, taas. Unstressed, stress. Shall I compare the two summer's day? 5. I compare the two summer's day. Yun, sinasabing 5. Penta, 5 iambs in one line. Yun yung itsura or structure ng isang sonnet in which ang poem hindi ganoon. Kasi ang poem pwedeng iba-ibang kanyang meter. So dito, dinidifferentiate yung sonnet and poem. Okay? So yung answer natin doon sa question is, hindi malan tayo additional information to na lang dito, how do we differentiate sonnet and poem. Si Paz Marquez Benitez is a short story writer, not poem. Sorry. Si Hida Cordero Fernando naman is also a writer and publisher, but definitely not about sonnets. Ito naman si Edith Tremor, if you're going to search for her, fiction writer, but also a poet, but not as renowned na sonnet ang sinusulat, unlike Ophelia Timalanta. Okay? Next question. Who among the following Filipino statesmen was the most vocal to speak against the country's foreign policy of close association with Americans? So, anti-American ito siya. Ayaw niyang Philippines ay tied or connected with the Americans. Parang si Duterte. Pero sa China siya kumabit. Okay, thank you for responses. Abayon. Most vocal to speak against the country's foreign policy of close association with the Americans. Who else? What's your answer? Bunilas, thank you. Who else? Di maramo kabuok. Di ba dyan na ito ang answer mo? Okay, Escobar. Dalawa na lang. Alavar and Amlag. Same na yung answer? Okay, thank you. Okay, all of you answered letter C. The correct answer for this question is letter A. Ayun yung kalimti ha. Claro Emrecto po. Most vocal to speak against the foreign policy in opposition Americans. Ayan, ano yung sinabi ni Caro Emrecto? So long as our economic policies remain dependent primarily on foreign aid, palagi tayong tinutulungan, palagi tayong binibigyan ng abuloy, and investments, and our policy makers remain habitual yes men, yes, sige lang yes sa mga foreign advisors. This aid, kunuhay, tabang, investment, and advice will be directed towards the retention of the economic status quo. Meaning to say, ano yung status quo at the time being, during their time? We are dependent on American aid. Oh, if we still accept this aid, this investment advice from the Americans, there is no change, but retention will still be in the economic status quo. Yan sinabi ni Claro M. Recto. Yun, no? This message was delivered by Recto on the eve of election in 1987 when he ran as the presidential candidate of Lapia Makabansa or the Nationalist Citizens Party, and siguro mo nang napildi siya no kay tungod ano yung message. This very speech inflicted so much anger among the Americans and his fellow Filipinos to whom he coined the term yes men. Sige lang mo yes. Yes. Parang ngayon, yes men ba ang government ngayon sa China? Yes. Bigyan ng infrastructure project ang Davao Coastal Road. I-search sagod ninyo, China na. Davao Coastal Road, China. Bigyan ng ano pa, maraming projects sa Philippines, build. Most of them are Chinese funded. Parang ganyan sinasabi ni Caro Recto during his time. Mga yes men, allowing foreign interference in our political and economic affairs. Recto simply aimed for the Filipinos and their leaders to make sure the Philippines' national interests were not sacrificed and give way to the American dream of how the world should be run. The Americans consequently accused him for being anti-Americans and worse than atheists. So, yun ang nangyari sa after ng speech ni Claro M. Recto. Okay, Claro M. Recto is also known as the father of Philippine Constitution. Take note, ha? Claro M. Recto, the father of Philippine Constitution, and he is the author of the RA 1425. That's why we have the Rizal subject in college. Siya pala ang salarin. Rizal Law. That the life, works, and writings of Jose Rizal be embedded in our curriculum sa college or nabasa high school na, il filibusterismo ang nuling itang hearing. See? Law pala yan siya. RA 1425. Authored by Claro M. Recto. Si Manuel Quezon, we know him, the President of the Commonwealth of the Philippines. Ama ng salitang makabansa ba yan? Basta yung Tagalog. Manuel Quezon. Cayetano Arellano, the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines. Cayetano Arellano. Jose P. Laurel is the President of the Second Philippine Republic. Those are the information about them. Correct answer for that question is Claro M. Recto. Next question. The Filipinos are deeply religious. However, sometimes this religiosity instills the negative attitude of blank. It's okay to be religious, but sometimes religiosity instills a negative attitude. Which of the following is the negative attitude? Is it a social responsibility to participate in the development of society? Is it resignation and ends up to doing nothing to improve one's condition? Is it total surrender to God in times of helplessness is the best? Or is it God who is omnipotent and omniscient will allow what is best? Thank you for responses. Aba yun. Mas manok ang vlog. I know some of you, Escobar, are already familiar with the question, ano, sa mga reviewers namin. But if you're going to look at the options, thank you for responses, Alabaran Cabonilas, and Escobar. Merong options dito na same ang idea, di ba? Same idea in option, eliminate. Ano yun? Look at C and D, di ba? Same ang idea nila eh. Total surrender to God in terms of Same idea, eliminate na yan silang dalawa. Hindi pwedeng tama, may isa lang ang tama dyan. So you're left with A and B. And since we're looking for the negative attitude, social responsibility is it's not a negative attitude. So the correct answer for this question is yes, actually letter B. Obvious naman, no? Resignation and ends up to doing nothing to improve some condition. Resignation dito, hindi yung resign sa trabaho, ha? Resignation by meaning to say, surrender na. Wala na kayong hindi na gumagawa ng paraan. Ay, ano na jud na siya. Wala na tayong mahimo. Wala na tayong magagawa. Resignation yan siya. Ends up to doing nothing to improve one's condition. Okay lang man kontento. Pero kung napaka pwede improve, why not? Diba? Next question. Okay, science naman. Which of the following statements is true about a textbook laid on the table? Imagine a table, imagine a book laid on a table. Which of these statements is applicable? Okay, thank you for your responses, Samlag and Lavar. Okay. Abayon, Escobar, and Cabonilas. So all of you answered letter A. How sure are you that no force is acting on it? What's the definition of force? How do we define force? If you remember, what is force? Forcer? Ano? Basta? Force. Force is a push or a pull. It could be a push, it could be a pull. It's called force. But looking at the question, which of the following statements is true about a textbook laid on the table? The correct answer for this question actually is letter C. The sum of the forces, meaning merong forces. The sum of the forces lang are acting upon it is equal to 0. So what are the forces acting on the table or acting on the book and on the table? Okay, again, definition. Force is an interaction. When an opposed will change the motion of an object, the force can cause an object with mass to change its velocity, to accelerate. Force can also be described as a push or a pull. A force has both magnitude and direction. So, ang force daw merong magnitude, merong strength, and merong direction, making it a vector quantity. Okay? Acceleration is considered to describe an increase or positive change of speed. Acceleration, positive change in speed, increase. While deceleration is the opposite of acceleration. So, looking at the book on the table, yan, the system, yung system nilang dalawa, yung book on the table, is motionless because all of the forces are equal to 0. Statics ang tawag dyan. Anong force ang ini-exert ng book sa table? Downward, di ba? Ano namang force ang ini-exert ng table sa book? Upward, di ba? Because of itong kanyang yung stand ng table. Kaya naging equal ang kanilang forces. Okay? If mas malakas ang force ng book or any object heavier than the book, magiging imbalance ang system kung mas mabigat ang object on the top of the table. Yeah, so mangyari dyan is masira yung table. But this time, ito kasi the system is motionless because all of the force ng table through itong kanyang stand and kanyang book by gravity is equal to 0 or it's static equilibrium. Kaya ang correct answer is letter C. Hindi pwedeng acceleration ng book, hindi rin pwedeng deceleration, hindi rin pwedeng force kasi nga merong forces na equal to 0 lang sila. I hope you got that. Ha? Sige, next question. What is the molecule that allows plants to capture energy from sunlight? Molecule. Ngita mo photosynthesis, wala. Which molecule allows plants to capture energy from sunlight? Actually, obvious man ang answer. Sige, thank you for responses. Escobar, Abayon, who else? Correct answer? Still have 3 minutes. Second to the last question na ito. Alavar, thank you. Amlag and Cabonilas. Correct answer for this question is yes, it's chlorophyll. The molecule that's responsible for the green pigment in the leaf of plants. Pigment used by plants in capturing light energy. Chlorophyll ang tawag sa molecule. It consists of a porphyrin head. Yan, term na naman sa science and porphyrin head containing nitrogen arranged in a ring around the magnesium ion and a long hydrocarbon tail. Yung ATP naman, it's adenosine triphosphate, is also a molecule. But in biochemistry, it's the molecular currency or the intracellular energy of transfer. Yan. ATP is able to store and transport chemical energy within cells. So we are able to move because of ATP. We're able to move our bodies because of ATP. May storage of energy and meron ding transport of energy because of ATP molecule. Ang carbohydrate molecule naman is an organic compound such as sugar or starch and used to store energy. Rice, yan, carbohydrate yan, yung bread, meron carbohydrate. Okay? Oxygen naman, by definition, is a colorless, odorless gas, tasteless gas, essential to living organisms. Source of carbon and return. And plants, in turn, utilize carbon dioxide, the source of carbon, and return oxygen to the atmosphere. Okay, so correct answer to that question is chlorophyll. We're down to the last question for today. Paano na question na ito? Monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides are types of what? Proteins, lipids, or nucleotides, or carbohydrates. Okay, thank you for responses. Hamlag, Abayon, Abonilas, Alabar, thank you. And Mr. Escobar. All right, correct answer for this question. Monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, polysaccharides are types of carbohydrates. Yung saccharide na term, saccharide, monosaccharide, oligosaccharide, polysaccharide, parang sounds like sugar. Yeah, carbohydrates. Saccharides or carbohydrates. Biological molecule consisting of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, CHO. So merong tawag monosaccharide, may disaccharide, may polysaccharide. Maraming chain. Pag monosaccharide isang molecule, disaccharide dalawa, polysaccharide maraming molecule or chain of saccharides. Lipids are molecules that contain hydrocarbons and make up the building blocks of structure of functioning living cells. Lipids, merong fatty acids, merong glycerides. Pero hindi siya carbohydrate. Yung nucleotide naman is the basic building block of nucleic acids. RNA and DNA are polymers made up of nucleotides. Yung DNA natin, tsaka mga RNA natin, they are composed of nucleotides. And there are 5 bases, adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, uracil. Yeah. Nucleotides. So correct answer for this question is carbohydrates. And it's already 4 p.m. Okay, so that ends our review for today. I hope you've learned something. Learn for yourself, ha? Mag-review mo inyo, ha? Mag-search mo inyo, ha? Mag-practice test mo because limited ang atong time sa pag-review. You don't just review during our time, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday. Review every day, answer practice test. Master the reviewers. Florimar na Gen.Ed. We'll have our exercise test on Thursday. So, thank you for coming. That's all for today. And God bless everyone. We are now dismissed.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
sir.
You're welcome.